things.
And this
Absolutely. We're not going to take that risk with our pension for generations to come. We are not going to sit by and allow Grenada again to be embroiled in that kind of a chaos.
All right. Mr. Hazzard, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we continue our discussion. Stay with us here, folks. It's To The Point here on, of course, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back.
Good day, Mom. What would make it easier for you to reduce your plastic waste?
Definitely incentives for bringing back plastic bottles, like discounts and loyalty points. It would motivate me to recycle more.
I think if restaurants let us use our own takeout containers, it's all about convenience, you know?
It would help if manufacturers start using less packaging altogether.
Better infrastructure, more investment in recycling facilities, and innovative solutions to tackle this growing problem of plastic pollution. It's not just about individual action, it's about systemic change.
With our population growing and plastic becoming more prevalent in packaging, we have to equip our waste management agencies to keep pace with change and handle the load.
There you have it, folks, straight from the streets. People are willing to do the responsible thing if we create the conditions for them to do so.
Recycle OECS. Green actions, blue oceans.
moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
Well, focus.
Cricket, lovely cricket, as we bring you ball by ball commentaries of the T20 World Cup. The Cut and Drive Network, in association with this radio station, are pleased to be a part of the excitement. Join me, Andrew Mason, as I lead a team of top-class cricket commentators right through to the finals on June the 29th at the historic Kensington Oval. Cricket, lovely cricket, on this radio station. You got a date, so don't be late. This moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
Well, focus.
Mark your calendars for a day of non-stop fun and laughter. The St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass, and Glen present All Mass 2024. It's all happening at the Grenada Youth Center on Sunday, July 21st, starting at 3 p.m. Tickets are just $35 for adults and $15 for children 12 and under. Grab yours from any Lions and Leo members, Grenadian Optical, and Clear Vision. All Mass promises humorous antics and infectious laughter for the whole family. Be there. This advertisement sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. Am with them.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Welcome back. Miss Daisy Hazzard with us this morning. And we spoke about, of course, in our intro, we did speak about regularization to a point. You did have a whole lot to say about that. We spoke a wee bit on the pension and, of course, your concerns as relates to the pension, of course, reform and so forth that government speak about. Now, workers' rights has always been a concern of the PW, and it will always continue to be a concern of the PW. Workers' rights in terms of how workers are treated through the system, how they go in and out of the system, right? Your take on recent happenings. Tell us about that.
Labor is about social justice, workers' rights, social justice, social peace. That's what Labor does. And that is why I think I said earlier that our union has been conducting peacekeeping missions at the General Hospital for the last month or so by seeking to try to allay the fear of workers, by trying to answer questions that government should be answering to workers, but they're not. Because it is never in the best interest of workers that they are uneasy, that they are dismayed. And so therefore their productivity and their motivation may slip a bit. And that is what is happening now. We want to say to workers, know your rights. You work with the government and people of Grenada. those of us who are duly employed by the PSC, we know that we are governed by the rules and regulations of the PSC. What our union has been seeing is not new, but there is a new uptick on it. Workers who are not protected, they face a lot of discrimination and injustice on the job. Prime Minister, again, if we go back and we listen to words of Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell for the last 2 years, and certainly in the first year, would have spoken about how these workers needs the protections of regularizations for the simple reason that when you're not regularized, anybody can take advantage of you. And we are seeing too many workers being taken advantage of now. We are seeing workers who are being fired while they're sick, because they're sick. Not one, not two. There is a particular ministry and a particular division that is guilty of that. We are seeing workers being brought to quasi-medical boards. But months later, they're still on the job laboring. And so it seems that where the SR&O, where the rules and regulations suits administrators and supervisors, they apply to workers who are not regularized.
Yeah.
To treat them badly, to discriminate against them, to deny them benefits. And where the SR&O may protect them or grant them a benefit, we are seeing those benefits being denied them, and they're being told, you're not a regularized employee, you are not hired by the PSC, and so that don't apply to you.
Yes.
But if they want to fire them, then they'll use a regulation or something there to fire them. It is illegal to fire someone who is sick because they're sick. We're seeing that. We also know that many workers do not come to the union alone. Some persons have chosen to go as well to the office of the ombudsman. There are other persons who have chosen to go to lawyers to just immediately seek legal redress. And where they're doing that, they seem to be winning. The union process takes a longer time. But the union process is sure because the laws and regulations of Grenada, they're sure. And what I would like to say to this administration and to our dear Prime Minister, even while you have failed on delivering a promise of regularization to workers, protect them. Put measures in place that in the interim will grant them some protection. So at least a worker doesn't have to be going to work wondering if I'm going to be fired today because my supervisor doesn't like me. I'm going to be fired or treated badly or just moved because I've said something or I've stood up for myself on the job. Just this week, one of our executive members conducted a session at the General Hospital on the same SR&O with a bunch of workers. And there were supervisors and managers there who were saying, no, you can't want them to be able to benefit from this rule or this regularization. No, we're challenging that. And they even want to challenge it for workers who are appointed by the PSC. And so we are saying, workers, know your rights, know the rules and regulations that govern you. When you have a question about your employment, write to your employer, write to the PSC. That's your right. A supervisor does not have to give you permission. They do not have the authority to tell you whether or not you can write to the ministry, your PS, or you can write to the PSC. That's your right. There are proper ways to do it, but it's your right to do it. And too many of our workers are sitting there very timidly, not embracing their rights, being discriminated against and being treated badly, not being paid properly, but slaving themselves to the bone for Grenada. And it's just not right. So I'm urging this administration, while you dilly-dally with regularization, while you figure it out, put some caveats in place that would give workers protection.
All right.
And benefits. It can be done.
There's also talk about, the of course, the anomalies that are taking place. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's also the issue, of course, the arbitration infringement and so. Tell us a bit about in reference to that.
The
arbitration infringement and so forth.
Well, I'm not Are we talking about arbitration infringement? I'm not totally.
Well, let's hear about the anomalies.
Well, some of the anomalies, again, I've said, is just where we see workers being treated unfairly, unjustly, where workers are not given the protection that the laws of Grenada should afford them. For instance, if you want to dismiss a worker, one person shouldn't just believe that it's okay to just get up one morning and exercise the authority to just write a letter and dismiss a worker. Bring together a tribunal, perhaps. Examine the worker's record. Give the worker opportunity to improve, because that is supposed to be the function of management as well. Yeah. But you're secure, because under successive administrations, you've been able to play the game sufficiently that you're secure, and you enjoy that security, and you're taking advantage of workers who you supervise and who may not have your rank and grade and level of education. And those are the very workers that you should be protecting. And I refrain this morning from calling names and positions, because all of these people are our members. But I urge supervisors, don't take advantage of people because you feel they're less educated than you. Build them up. Bring them up. Don't take advantage of people because you have an appointment or you were graduated into a position. We saw this administration promise this nation that they would govern transparently, that positions in the public service, people would get positions on the basis of merit and not just because they're politically affiliated. And we've not seen that. And we've seen too many of these politically affiliated appointees treating workers badly.
The issue also in the range of contract workers within the government establishment. What's your take on that? Still not getting the full workers, still not getting their full adjustments as they should.
It's the same thing. If you're on contract, if you're holding a letter from a PS, if you're holding a letter that says you're temporary, it's the same thing. Once you're not regularized, once you're not under the establishment, you're a vulnerable worker. To give this administration credit, what they have done is brought the contracts up, the salary, the remuneration up to grade.
Yes.
So we had seen previously that many people would have been working for years, not getting a salary adjustment, not getting a salary increase, and that has happened. We have also seen, and if we are urging workers, if you are out there and you are still not covered, that workers who previously the NIS contributions were not paid by government, their NIS contributions have been paid. And we know that started from Prime Minister's ministry, because workers, they would have directly said to Prime Minister, government does not pay my NIS. And immediately we were informed by workers, Prime Minister sought to redress that, and that redounded throughout the system. And so we can give the administration credit for that. There's a lot that we can give this administration credit for, but when it comes to regularization and pension reform, when you strip away hope from people, you strip away hope from your society. And it's not good enough. 50 years later, celebrating independence is not good enough. It cannot be the norm for politicians to continue to make empty promises that they know cannot be kept to our nation, to people, and then turn around and, sweep it on pull the rug or the carpet out from under people. It's not good enough. We shouldn't do it.
Okay. We're due for a break again. Let's take it. We'll be coming back with much more. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio, GBN TV. We'll be right back after the break.
Tell my olas.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free Hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for one whole year, and every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sips, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Grenlac, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribouries, Coop Bag, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for Grenada to laugh again. Heritage Theatre presents Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024, Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, 23rd June at the Trade Center in Grandance, and on Sunday, 30th June at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime, 7 p.m. every time, featuring some of Grenada's best ambassadors of comedy. Robert White.
I will line up behind the yellow for 9 elections straight. I changed for 9 time to lose the last election. Why? Because I'm always on the losing side.
Dillion Walters.
I couldn't take. I don't tell Molly didn't know.
Kareem Alexis and other outstanding comedic performances, all coming to knock you off your seats with laughter. Get your tickets now. Bring out the entire family. Tickets are $60. It's time for Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024.
The place go flood with laughter.
It's the event you won't want to miss. GIDC Business Deals Day on Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point for today, Friday, the 28th of June. Ms. Stacey Hazzard, welcome back once again. My next question I want to ask is the ongoing healthcare sector. Mm-hmm. There's the ongoing, should I say, and critical crisis that we hear of from time to time within there. As the face of also in the face of regularization within the sector also. Mm-hmm. What's your take? What's your take here?
Well, I want to tell you the take of workers and the union. We've seen that one of the accomplishments boasted about by this administration after 2 years is the closure on land for the promised new hospital. I do not doubt at all that Grenada can benefit from upgraded and perhaps even new hospital facilities. What suffices at the General Hospital is not good enough. But even while we await a new hospital, which is not going to come overnight if it comes, what about our healthcare system now? We hear about young mothers dying in childbirth or shortly after childbirth or a couple of weeks after. There was a tragic case, I think, this week or last week. Our doctors and nurses, they wring their hands. They come to the union sometimes for consolation. In fact, we are monitoring very closely some situations with some workers at the hospital where it appears that they're under the gun. Perhaps for sticking up too closely for patient care, even under the strained circumstances at the General Hospital. The question that workers are asking, when you ask workers in the healthcare sector about the new hospital, they start praying for you. Yeah. That's my experience. They start telling you as it was in the beginning, or the Lord is my shepherd, or I don't know what you are talking about. And across the spectrum, from ambulance drivers, nurses, maids, cooks, cleaners, doctors, they are telling you, what new hospital without securing our healthcare now? We cannot wait for a new hospital compound to save lives in Grenada. We cannot wait for a promised new hospital to improve on our healthcare, what we offer as a part of our healthcare package. We cannot wait for a new hospital to rebrand the culture of practice at General Hospital so that patients are more satisfied, so that workers are more satisfied. We can't wait for that. And it is negligent that every time this administration is asked a question about healthcare, the public is told the promised new teaching hospital and medical tourism. I am not concerned about medical tourism in the future. I am concerned now about healthcare now in Grenada. I am concerned about when I call for the ambulance twice in one day for a sick relative and it does not turn up. without a word. I am concerned that when I carry a patient to the hospital who should be prone, who should be lying down because they're so sick, there's no bed or stretcher to place them on. I am concerned about medication. We are concerned about all of that, and we cannot wait until we go into a brand new facility when, sometime in the future, to fix our present practices and to shore up our healthcare in Grenada. If we do not do that, it means we are prepared and we are allowing our citizens to die or to become sickened more than they should be. That's as pure and as simple as it is. And so now we need to hear now. We are looking at a situation where I saw it in the last month and a half, where the ambulance operates a mini shuttle within the hospital compound. I was unaware of that as a citizen of Grenada, even as a PR of the union, until I experienced it myself. And I'm wondering, can't we find another solution? Can't we ease up our ambulance so that they're not doing mini shuttle work, in the hospital, so that the community can get the use of it when the community needs it? What about our nurses? Yes, we've heard about 26 new nurses being taken into the general hospital. That's good. That's commendable. But how are we going to ensure that we keep these people? The $500 that was given to them as political gambit and bait to ice out the union, that has not worked. It has created disorder. The $1,000 given to doctors, that has not worked, because there are other people looking on saying, what about me? The maids who call themselves, according to PAHO, epidemiology specialists, because they are the ones who ensure that our hospital is kept clean and that infections do not spread across our hospital. And Grenada has a good track record of that because of our lowly maids and cleaners. Shout out to my maids and cleaners at the General Hospital. If they're not performing their jobs properly, if these lowly paid servants of Grenada don't know how to deal with a blood spill, from a urine spill to another kind of spill, and create the space where our doctors and nurses can work, there'd be chaos. You understand where you understand?
I certainly do understand.
So we need now our primary health care, the districts. What happens? We were looking at the numbers just a couple of days ago. Presently at the General, there's just about, I have the numbers somewhere, there's a few doctors who are regularized, but there's spaces on the books. Why can't they be regularized? Why can't the nurses be regularized when the spaces are there? Why are other spaces being allowed to fall to attrition? And so again, without going on much further, secure our healthcare now. The future belongs to nobody but God. We have today and hopefully the next hour, the next day.
All right. We, of course, get into the top of the hour, just about 10 a.m. already. But we still will, of course, entertain a few calls from our viewers and listeners. Yeah. I know they may questions that they may like to ask. We certainly will, of course, entertain them in this segment. Let's take our first caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hi, good morning to you, GT, and to Miss Hazzard. She's being the kind of labor union person she can be, and she has to stick out. But I would like to ask a question. Now, how many of the challenges that she has highlighted are new? How many of the threats to her members are new? I'm also hearing from her, and I've heard in other circles, that some of the problems that the members are facing are actually the result of the behavior of some of the other members of the union who work in the same places with them. I would like you to tell us, though, in your own humble opinion, and I don't know if you've done any polls, have the workers or your members, are they better off today or worse today than they were 2 years ago? That's a fundamental question. All you're saying is quite correct. Are they better off today or are they worse off today? What are the new threats they face now that they never faced before? And if you'll be honest, and probably if you can sign from your members, because I feel that your point are well taken, but the tone could be a bit more conciliatory. When you consider what this government has done, they may have overpromised with all good intentions in their naivety to deliver on certain things which now they're discovering probably had not researched enough and they can't deliver as they would like. They may have overpromised, but to me the tone is bothering because it seems as though it's a negative that we're hearing, and then by the way they did something here. Please tell us, are they better off today or worse than they were 2 years ago?
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Respond to the caller.
Caller, good morning, sir. I do recognize you and thank you for calling. I'm a little amused because your preamble literally suggests to this nation that because there were problems yesterday, and because, as we all know, the problems that we are confronting as a country now are not new, largely. They're generational. They've existed. I, representing union, have been on these airwaves for the last, going on 6 years. Sir, you had no concern with my tone previously. You endorsed it, you applauded it, you personally embraced it. I am not here as a cheerleader for the NDC administration. Where government does good, union is prepared and happy to say that. But I'm here to advocate and to speak on behalf of the members that I represent. I'm here today to speak about lack of regularization and pension reform, which is threatening workers. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not too concerned about if you're happy with whether my tone is conciliatory or not. Sir, there are enough cheerleaders. You are one of them for this administration. Why can't I be a cheerleader for the people that I have sworn to represent? Allow me to do that. Thank you very much.
We do have
one thing you did. Well, I think I answered it.
Okay.
He asked whether or not workers are better off. I cannot sit here and say that workers are worse off than they were 2 years ago. That would be a falsehood. But I cannot sit here and tell you that every single worker feels better off today. And what I've said to this nation today is that we as a union have had to be going to the General Hospital, one of the largest plants in our country, one of the most critical areas of governance in our country, our healthcare sector, to allay the fear of workers. I don't want to go into what some of those fears may be, because then it would totally answer your question as to whether they feel better off or worse off. Thank you, sir.
We do have another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, good morning. You guess Daisy Hazzard, right? I think Daisy Hazzard need to be more team with herself. She's too bacchanalish, and all from Daisy is too much negativity. Daisy, last NDC thing, Daisy never make a day walk. She pretends she's sick, and every time he says she should come and drop her grandson at school, so she needs her nephew or whatever. And when NAP won the last election, she was up and arms. Daisy and them is too opportunist. That's what she cannot get what she wants because she wanted to be a PS and she did not get it. I'm a retired teacher, so I'm not afraid of nothing. Daisy must learn to have respect for this government, and what she should do, get her members to vote NDC out if that be it. That's all she has to do, not come in there and jump in and wave or not. The government has done anything. They're trying their best. They made this country into a lot of mess, and today Daisy has not want to come and public open them out. Shame on you, Daisy. Take another trolley because you get left. Bye.
Thank you, caller.
I would not answer Miss Romaine. What I would say to her is happy campaigning.
All right. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hello, good morning. I think the problem is that the politicization of everything. As the first caller asked, Were those problems in existence before? Yes, they were. It does not mean that it should continue. This is a health issue that affects all of us. I think the first caller and others do not care in the sense that they perhaps might be in a position to call the ambulance, and the rest of us, if something happens, we'll have to call the undertaker. I think we should eliminate and eradicate politicization. When something is wrong, it's wrong. I remember the very said person, the host or your guest this morning, condemned the last administration for some of the same problems, right? And if that's still existing and she's condemning this one or criticizing it, it shows her independence and her patriotism. Have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much. And if we could get one more caller, and then we get some closing contributions from you this morning. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning.
Oh, yes, good morning, GT.
Good morning to you.
And good morning to your guests. Now, this is where we have the problem, and that's what I always advocate. Look, let's stop fighting with each other. That's one of the problems we had where we go nowhere. If we understand representation, we will not get upset with the lady, because drama is all part of delivering messages. So why are you getting upset with the lady? She's doing a good job. Now, all the problem of what I'm hearing from this lady, it deals with the economy. We have a serious financial problem, Except we can muster up the monies, we will not be able to solve any of the problem. However, we are not focusing on the growth. You're hearing our Caribbean leaders or world leaders when he's talking about the growth of economies. But sometimes when we talk about the growth of the economy, some people get upset. It is the economy that is creating the problem. We have to grow and expand the economy to create the revenue that we want. Rather than quarreling one another and quarreling people who are advocating for the right. I am a retired civil servant, and I had my time in the service too. So I know what the lady is talking about. But we have to stop this quarreling and support each other as it relates to growing the economy, to create jobs, revenue for the citizens. Other than that, government will not be able to find anything to do whatever they have to do. It is the economy. Let us stop the growth of the economy and persuade the government to grow every single arm of the economy where revenue have to be delivered or created to solve this problem. Quarreling one another, we will not solve it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Ms. Hazzard, once again, of course, we have heard of the accomplishments of the new administration for the 2 years being in office. You have also spoke, of course, on the fate of the workers. Mm-hmm. Any closing contributions this morning?
Well, I just want to say that we encourage our workers all across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We encourage you to be motivated, to be professional, to be strong. As I've said before, we encourage you to know your rights, to stand on them and to act on them. We are a powerful and strong union. We control the healthcare sector. We control the borders, the safety and security of Grenada, and so many other aspects of Grenada. We are the workers who deliver the money. We are the workers who work on the capital grant projects. We are not the workers who spend it at all. Only. We are the workers who make it happen. And so stand on that authority, workers. Stand proud in that authority. And we just want to encourage this administration to continue their work. You've made it to 2 years. When we look at the list of your accomplishments that you put out, and in fact, when I saw that list, I thought it was a bit of a party joke. Yeah. But when I heard the Minister for Labour refer to it in the Parliament and in the Senate and added to it, I thought, do you want to be taken seriously? Because if you want to be taken seriously, you can't present this list to the nation as a serious administration. So 2 years has passed. The honeymoon phase has passed. Settle down. Govern. We'll continue to work with you because, as you've learned by now, you cannot do it without your public servants. And so the persons who are out there who are angry and bitter today, who hailed me as a hero yesterday, Miss Romaine, as I said before, I wouldn't answer you, out of consideration and respect for your son. I would not answer you. But Do not ever believe anyone that the GPWU would fail to represent workers, will fail to come into the social space to dialogue and to speak to Grenada about the concerns that we have about workers, because there are people who believe that because there is an NDC administration in office, everybody should shut up. That is not going to happen. We can promise you that.
All right. Ms. Hazzard, I want to thank you once again for being on the program this morning. I know we had, of course, a little hiccup in the start of the program this morning, but that's been rectified and moved smoothly. Thanks once again. Hope to have you back sooner than usually do. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yes, it's been a couple of weeks.
So we could get more information thrown out to you than we had this morning.
Yes.
Thanks
once again. Thank you so much, GT.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Grenada, for your time.
Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for this edition. Up to the point. Join us again. Have a good one, folks.